All right, shalom, shalom. Hey, first and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakwadash. Hey, double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Salutations to you brothers that's out there doing the work in truth and in sincerity. All right, so I did a word search, on these words to your right of the screen: transhumanism, augmentation, neurolinking, brain-computer interface. Okay, and all these relate to the completion of the New World Order, as far as the technology goes, because the agenda of the so-called white man is much more than, just trying to, dominate the earth. He's trying to, find a way at, becoming immortal. And he's going to do that through his technology, and once you start to figure out the devil, who come in the power of Satan, which is the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, you start to figure out their plan and their agenda a lot more. All right. So we have a lot of pieces to the puzzle that we can pretty much put together and start to conclude the whole conclusion of the matter, and this has everything to do with the RFID chip. Brain interfacing, has a lot to do with the mark of the beast. Because when you go into do your little studies, you basically start to see how they're utilizing the chip to bring, utilizing the technology to bring, themselves to a higher conscious level. It's a little bit more intricate than we, explain. But hey, it's part of knowing who your enemy is, man, and you shouldn't take anything lightly, especially in these times, because Jake, they call it spookism and, fear mongering when we go into these things, the mark of the beast. And and it's really, sounding the trumpet, and leaving no stone unturned, So I got 2 Corinthians 2:11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. All right. And these are his devices. One of his main devices that he will utilize in these times is the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, according to Revelations 13:16. All right. It starts off with a mental perception thought. All right. An evil purpose. All right. What is the purpose of the so-called white man? To rise above the nation of Israel. Not to just be, better than us, or no, he wants to dominate. He wants to totally eradicate and consume and destroy us. OK, and this is important to know. All right. If you look at the so-called white man's history, and it's not a hard thing to do. Most people tend to look over these things that's been happening through the past, and they all want to be part of this new world global governance, where they look at humanity as everybody is one and equal, and the Lord God Yahweh didn't make everybody equal. All right, you have the sons of the wicked, you have the sons of man, which are the Gentiles, the general basic people, the people in the background. Then you have the sons of God, and this is a war between the sons of God and the sons of the wicked. It's just as plain as day, man. And the sons of the wicked understand. They know. They have done a diligent their diligent search to figure out what the Most High intends to do, Yahweh, and what we are going to receive. We have a reward that's waiting on us. The elect of Israel. Right now, we're going through the purging and cleansing to ascertain our reward, So their evil purpose, all right, their device is an evil purpose, all right, so they can fight against the Most High, okay? That which thinks the mind, all right, thoughts or purpose, all right? So their purpose, the intellect, disposition itself, device, mind, thought. So it starts as a thought first. OK, and that thought is that they're going to escape judgment first and foremost, right along with them trying to use their technology to utilize their technology to become immortal. All right, which is not going to work, man. It's definitely not going to work. You brothers and sisters, look up these words, augmenting. I do have, Salaki, I do have, let's just see here. I do have picture stills of the definitions, and I'll go into it. I just have to pause the video. But I'm going to start off with this Psalms right here, man. 21, and I believe it's the 8th verse. Let me see. Here we go. All right, because it's important to know your enemy. It's important to know what your enemy is doing. That's part of being a watchman. Okay, so guys like IUIC and all these people that don't believe the RFID chip is the mark of the beast, they're slipping, man. They're dumb dogs. They're gonna be out. They're gonna be found out as false prophets because they're not barking or sounding the alarm at the enemy and what the enemy is doing. Okay, in fact, they write it off as conspiracy. They write it off as not important. They take it lightly, and this is the end game. This is the so-called white man's end game. All right, this is the most vital information that you should know. This is one of the most vital information you should know. So among other things, this knowledge is vast. So it's a lot of things that we should know, but there are more important things, that we should pay attention to. And I believe this is one of the RFID chip, the mark of the beast, is one of those important things. Psalms 21:8. Thine hand shall find out all thine enemies. Thy right hand shall find out those that hate thee. So we know another word for hand is your strength, okay, because it's pretty much your dominant side. But you're supposed to find out your enemies, man, those that hate you, And on top of that, you're supposed to know what their agenda is, man. And part of their agenda is what? To enslave you. Okay. Part of their agenda is to enslave you. All right. Using their legislation, their laws that they pass secretly to what? To overcome you, man. And that's why you have the Psalms of David through the Spirit. He knew of these things, man. He knew about his enemy, man. And he hated, like the scriptures say, of Psalms 139, man, he hated his enemy with a perfect hatred. And we should hate our enemies with a perfect hatred. All right. And not be susceptible to the devices, which starts in their minds, which I'll get Micah really quick, Micah 2:1. Okay. It starts in their minds first, and then what? They bring it to pass. All right. Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity. All right. Meaning to think up. All right. And part of that iniquity, the white man's iniquity is that he's above God. All right. Because he's saying there is no creator. Okay. And you know what the scriptures say in Psalms 14:1, man. You're worthy of death if you think that God doesn't exist, man. Hey, how can the thing how like the parable goes with the Slakia. The scriptures say the thing that framed it boast against. How can the axe boast against its maker, or some to that extent? But Salakia, it says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. Now, this has been happening throughout history, but it's going to happen more prevalent, man. It's going to happen in this very time, especially concerning it. The New World Order, the Agenda 21, the Rex 84, FEMA. They give absolute power to FEMA to control all the resources here in America. And by resources, we're talking about not only material, you're talking about people as well. Okay, because people are resources too. Okay, and that's why they setting up internment camps. Okay, because if you go against their structure, their system, which is a pit, it's a trap. If you go against their system, then you're gonna, which is the image of the beast. Also, they're gonna come after you. All right, and they're gonna come after you with the full extent of their authority, which they really have no authority. You know, they're just pushing against the innocent. You know, and the innocent, by when I'm being by innocent, I'm talking about the elect. All right, the chosen, the 144,000 and the 1/3, the multitude that believe in Yahweh Shai, and that believe in his kingdom, his everlasting kingdom, and that call upon his name and that do his works. Okay, rather than just hear him. So it says, therefore, thus said the Lord, behold, against this family do I devise an evil. And what family is that? We're talking about the tree of Edom, Esau, the so-called white man. All right, which their descendants are dispersed through the earth. All right, and they're ruling the earth. Okay, they have the earth in their clutches. Okay, especially at the highest level, dealing with we call it Zionists. Most these men don't, you hear of the Bilderbergers, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the very ones at the very top. They don't reveal their names. Well, they soon will. And then and that's when the new world order is going to be fully established, where they're going to microchip you. Okay, so just to go back. I'm gonna go back to their technology. So bear with me for a second. All right. So just to give you a basic understanding of where they want to go. So they have different applications for their brain interface. BCI. All right, is a collaboration between a brain and a device that enables signals from the brain to direct some external activity, such as control of a cursor. You have your mouse, all right, or a prosthetic limb. Okay, so you can think about where you want to point the cursor on the computer, and the neural linking device is linked to your brain via chip, or whatever they put on your head, whatever device they put on your head to track your brain activity, and it utilizes your own brain to correlate with the technology. All right, so Salakia, it says to direct some external activity such as a cursor of control of a cursor or a prosthetic limb. All right, so you can have a prosthetic limb, and you can basically you can point your toe on the prosthetic limb, and it'll go to the direction you want it to go. Okay, and it's just a basic understanding of the technology. All right, it says the interface enables a direct communications pathway between the brain and the object to be controlled. All right, so there's greater applications that's going to be applied to the technology. All right, and one of those things is people are going to deliberately cut off their limbs so they can augment, so they can have these these long lasting mechanical parts that's part of their body now, their body structure, so they can be bigger, faster, stronger. So just to show you just what it does, man, because it's not a game, no pun intended. But as you can see, the guy playing the game, and he's not using any controller, he's using his brain power. Okay, which is neural linked to the computer. You see, It could track the brain activity. All right. And ultimately, that's what the chip is going to do. That's the chip part of, the technology of the chip. You're going to be able to utilize that, man. You know? All right. So transhumanism, the belief or theory that the human race can evolve beyond its current physical and mental limitations, especially by means of science and technology. All right. And this is what the so-called white man is putting all his money into, all his research into. Okay. Scriptures talk about them doing a diligent search. Okay. Which I just read. All right. So I'm going to go to Psalm 64. All right. Psalm 64 and start at the first verse. It says, to the chief magician, a psalm of David. Hear my voice, O power, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. All right. Because they're going to come in as a flood, man, with their troops. All right. And if you think this is far-fetched, you're going to see, man, it says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, all right, which is Esau, who whet their tongue like a sword, all right, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, okay, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect, okay. And they do that through their laws, man. They frame mischief by law, okay, and they go after the poor and needy, the widow, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. All right. And they don't fear, okay, because, sentence against an evil work, like the scriptures say in Ecclesiastes is not, they're not being judged for it. So they think they can get away with it. They think they can continue to do evil. It says they can encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? And they've done that in the system that we live in, whether it's welfare, whether it's the injustice system. It doesn't matter. They lay snares all the time. Even when you eat the food, they have they put abominable things in the food. Okay, so it goes on, man. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. All right, especially when it comes to the technology. Okay, it says, but God shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. All right, and part of that arrow is this word, man. And they're being wounded right now. Okay. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Okay. Because everybody's starting to realize that the so-called white man is the devil. And the things that he's doing in the world, he's proving it. It's becoming more evident. All right. And all men shall fear and shall declare the work of God, for they shall wisely consider his doing. Because ultimately they're going to fall. Okay, and they're gonna fall dramatically. All right, and it's gonna be monumental. It's gonna be on a high level. It's gonna be a very terrible. All right. It says, the righteous shall be glad in the Lord and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. All right. Okay. So slacking. So all in all, we don't want to be ignorant of his devices, man. We don't want to be ignorant of his devices. And it's clear as day. All right. So like I said, you can do the word search, on those and do, some research, because these Edomites are planning. They're planning their last hoorah, man, because they're going to try to become immortal. All right. Elon Musk plans to beat artificial intelligence by merging with it. Neuralink. So they even think they can download certain information in your brain, and your brain will lock it in. You know, they already have the technology, man. Okay, I encourage y'all to do your research. All right, because this ain't no joke. You know, you're supposed to know your enemy, know what he's doing. Okay, so Revelations. But now the scripture is becoming more clear. Now we see what all these these agendas that the so-called white man is bringing together. We're starting to see that it's he's pretty much slacking. He's pretty much bringing everything to fruition. Slacking. Revelations 13:6, it says, and he causeth all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right. And that's the neural linking. That's the brain interfacing. The technology is there. Okay. All right. And it's becoming plain as day. It's becoming plain as day what their agenda is. All right. So when you understand, when you go into the word mark, karakma, and you understand what's being done. Now, I mean, you see what their plan is. You see what they're doing in the world. Now you can start to match it up with the scriptures, All right. So he's going to cause all, both small and great, man. And it's going to start with the rich. Okay. Because they've created the ideals, the image. Okay. They created the image of the beast, which is the ideals, the ideal alone, them being able to, fuse biology with technology and become immoral, that's part of their image. Okay. Right along with worshiping these idols and all of that. That's all part of the same thing. So I'll start at 15 again. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Okay. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right. And via the technology, man, It says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. Now, and they're basically creating a system around, a financial structure, this whole technology, technological advances. It's going to be wrapped around this whole, the RFID chip. All right. All right, so Salaki. It says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All right, here's wisdom, that him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636. All right, and the mark of the beast is not sin. All right, for you lazy people out there. You have to do a more diligent search than that, because if it was sin, we'd all be, we'll all be condemned and destroyed already, So it's not sin, okay. But Lord willing, this was edifying. Research those words. Salaki. Research these words, transhumanism, augmenting or augmentations, neural linking, brain, computer interfacing, and, it's going to lead you to, these devils, what they want to do, man, what they've been doing and what they've been putting their money towards, so Lord willing, that was edifying. With that, I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahshua, Hashem, Makakodash. Double honesty, apostles, and others at great millstone. Salutations to you, brothers out there doing the work of truth and sincerity. Shalom.